Hi guys, welcome to Story Time. We're just really excited to be here with you today. What's the matter?
Go ahead. I'm farming today, Jim. I got stuff I gotta do.
Farming.
Yeah.
Honey, we're not farmers. I don't even have a garden.
I'm a farmer.
What do you farm?
I'm a Philip bean farmer.
A Philip bean farmer.
Yep.
What's a Philip bean farmer?
Well, in our story today, it's all about a group of people that are farmers and they do Philip beans. And so I decided I'd buy this jar and I bought some beans. And now I can fill up the jar with beans and I can be a Philip bean farmer too.
Oh, Andrew, you're...
Oh, hold on.
Oh, what?
Oh, he a big one.
Ah!
Okay. Yeah, so got my farming hat on, got my farming coat. I got my scoop shovels, and we're out here in the farm. And
I think you're a little bit confused.
Green Acres is the place for me.
No.
Farm living is a life for me.
No.
You know how that goes?
I don't really know, but I know for sure that those aren't Philip beans.
They are. They're beans.
No.
And I filled them up. So I'm a Philip bean farmer.
Nope. They are dried chickpeas or garbanzo beans, some people call them.
That's chicken pea?
No. Chickpeas is what they're called, or garbanzo beans. They're a really good source of protein.
Oh, I loved Garbanzo. He was my favorite Muppet.
Oh, this is really bad. So let's just roll it back for a second.
So but I know I got our story ready today, so I know it's all about Philip bean farmers.
No, oh honey, there are farmers, and they make one of my favorite things, coffee. But it's not Philip bean farmers. It's a place called the Philippines. They're islands in the Pacific Ocean.
When was the last time we had hamburger?
Back to us.
Okay, sorry.
The Philippines. Look, it's a bunch of islands.
Yeah, that's why I said Philip beans.
No. Look. Philippines.
Oh, that looks backwards.
It is backwards, but
okay.
Like for me, I can read it, and it says the Philippines. It's a group of islands.
Well, that's a group of islands. We have friends that are missionaries there.
We do.
Yeah.
We do. Yeah. So it's not Philip beans. Oh. It's the Philippines, the islands in Asia.
Oh.
Yeah.
So, that makes a whole lot more sense. I couldn't figure out why. Yeah.
Yeah, let's just...
I still don't understand why anybody would want to grow chicken pea.
It's not chicken. It's called chickpeas. And it makes a lovely thing called hummus. You can also make chana masala.
I can hum too.
Do you want me to hum too?
If we'll do it together, then it'll be hummus.
Okay. Okay. I'm just going to put your beans over here. Okay?
But I am a real life farmer.
You are?
I have the #1 farmer repair tool.
What's that?
Duct tape.
Duct tape?
You can fix anything with this.
I wonder if they teach that in the ag class.
I don't know. Everybody should have duct tape. It's very good.
Well, let's tell the kids about the Philippines and what happens there.
Oh, okay.
Because remember, we have friends there, and actually... Our friends do a lot of what's going to happen in our story.
They do. Yeah.
I just am so excited.
And I tell you what, it makes a whole lot more sense now that it's in the Philippines and not Philip beans farmers.
Yeah, because...
So we probably could have stayed inside and done this in the air conditioning then, huh?
Yeah.
Oh, well... Sorry about that.
That's okay. How about we tell the kids about
I did get to wear my farming clothes, though.
That's great.
I like it. My farm hat.
Yeah.
Kick that back just a little bit so I can see.
With the shovels in the back and the rakes.
Yeah, like that. Yeah.
Yeah, no. They smell kind of bad.
Sorry.
That's okay.
Okay. Today, we are going to talk about the Isnag people.
Oh.
And they are a group of people in the Philippines. And this is what their village would look like. And they are farmers. they do farm
Uh-huh.
wonderful things. They farm some rice and they farm some different beans, and they also grow coffee.
Yeah.
The Isnag people, though, they don't believe in the one true God.
Wait, what?
Unfortunately, they had not heard for a very long time about the truth that God loved them.
Oh.
They thought that there were evil spirits
Oh.
that did mean things to them and were always trying to trick them and make them do bad things.
Oh, that.
And so they were very, very sad.
Oh.
And the other sad part was
Uh-huh.
they didn't have a written language.
Wait.
So that meant that they couldn't have the Bible in their own language.
Oh.
They couldn't read things in their own language. If they
Oh.
wanted to read and learn to read, they had to
Uh-huh.
learn a different language so that they
What?
could learn how to read.
That's so weird. I mean, like we have books and papers and Bibles everywhere.
Right.
Yeah.
They didn't.
Oh,
They
that's
didn't.
sad.
But one day,
Uh-huh.
there was a man by the name of Richard Rowe
Okay.
who decided that he wanted to go and help the Isnag people.
Oh.
He went, and as he went, he decided that he was going to help translate some of the things that they needed to learn.
Oh, fantastic.
Well, Richard went, and he lived among the Isnag people. He lived in
Oh.
one of their huts.
Uh-huh.
He learned to eat some of the things that they ate.
Oh, like coffee? Drink coffee?
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
but
What else?
there was something else.
What?
They would eat these big,
Uh-huh.
juicy,
Uh-huh.
white
Uh-huh. Tomatoes.
worms
What? Wait.
called grubs. And Richard would eat those with the people. And
Wow.
sometimes they would eat crickets and grasshoppers.
Okay.
And they would do those kind of things and
Yeah.
because they didn't have a lot of food sources.
Okay.
And Richard decided that in order for him to be able to know and
Mm-hmm.
love the Isnag people, he would have to learn how to do that as well.
Oh my.
Well, Richard did that.
Uh-huh.
And he began to live amongst the people.
That's so cool.
But many of them didn't like him.
Wait, why?
They were kind of mean to him at times because he talked about one true God and
Uh-huh.
how their evil spirits weren't real.
Oh.
And people didn't like to hear that.
Oh.
Well, one afternoon,
Uh-huh.
this little boy, his name was Leonardo Fugio,
Uh-huh.
he was sitting outside of his house and he
Yeah.
was sent out by his family to pick up a bunch of firewood.
Oh.
They cooked over open fires, so every day they would have to go out and collect firewood to come in so that they could boil water and make their rice and cook whatever they were
Yeah.
going to cook. He was outside, and while he was outside, he tripped and fell.
Oh.
And he sat down by the tree and he was crying.
Yeah, that's so sad.
Richard walked past him and he said, "Why are you crying today? I don't understand. What's wrong? Are you okay?"
Oh man.
And little Leonardo, his friends called him Nard for short.
Oh, okay.
Said-
Leonard, got it.
Yeah, it said, "The evil spirits, they have been after me and they want to do mean things to me and they're not
Oh.
being very nice. And I tripped and fell and it hurt really bad."
Yeah.
Richard looked at him and said, "Oh, Nard, listen, buddy, the evil spirits,
Uh-huh.
they're not real.
Oh.
There is a one true God
Uh-huh.
who loves you very much.
Yeah.
And I know you're scared of them, but the Bible says..."
Uh-huh.
Nard looked at him and said, "What is a Bible?"
Oh, he didn't know what a Bible is?
Richard knew he needed to help them get a language written down so that they could have the Bible in their own language.
That's so cool.
Nard said, "I want to hear more."
Uh-huh.
And just then his sister Manang came running over and she said, "Nard, get up. We need more firewood. You're just laying around and pretending to be hurt. Now go do your job."
Oh.
Nard didn't like that. He didn't like having to do all that kind of work and pick up firewood. And
Yeah.
he was the youngest, and so he always had to do the jobs that
Sure.
nobody else wanted to do.
Uh-huh.
But there was a way
There's a
that
way?
Nard would not have to do that anymore.
Oh, let's see. For him not to have to work.
The
What's that?
Isnag people
Uh-huh.
had a school.
Oh!
But it was a weird way of figuring out whether or not you were old enough to go to school.
Okay, tell me about it.
So, the way that they determined whether or not you were old enough to go to school was
Uh-huh.
you had to take your left hand,
Okay.
put it over your head,
Okay.
and grab your right ear.
Okay, wait.
If-
Like your left hand
Yep.
over your head
Yep.
And look, I can grab
You
my
could go
ear.
to school.
Okay, cool.
That was the way they determined that you were old enough to go to school.
Okay.
Well, Nard's father came to him and said, "Are you old enough? Let's do the test."
Okay.
And he did the test.
And
Nard passed.
oh, good.
He was so excited that he got to go to school. In fact, he loved to go to school
Oh.
for the first couple of weeks.
Oh.
He would get up every morning and he would go and he would take and he would wrap up some rice
Oh.
in a banana leaf with a little bit of other things, maybe some fish or some of those bugs that we talked about.
Grubs.
And grubs. And he would take them. And after a few weeks,
Yeah.
he stopped going to school.
Wait, he stopped going to school.
He would go
That's
instead
not-
and play in the jungle.
Uh-huh.
And he didn't tell his mama and his papa that that's what he was doing.
Oh,
And-
that's dangerous.
One afternoon, as he was walking towards the jungle, he ran into Mr. Richard Rowe.
Oh.
While he was there, they saw a monkey. And he said, "Oh, I want to see what that is." And Richard said, "That, in my language, is a monkey. How do you say it in your language?"
Oh, neat. They're sharing.
Nard began to teach him the language of the Isnag people.
Wow.
He would hold up a coconut. Richard would hold up a coconut and he would say, "This is a coconut." Now, Nard laughed because he thought that was a funny word. And then he would teach him. And while he was teaching Richard was writing down the words.
Oh.
Every afternoon they would meet. Richard didn't know that Nard was supposed to be in school.
Oh, no.
He didn't realize that.
Uh-huh.
He thought he was just able to come out and play.
Oh.
Well, after a while, Richard had learned a lot of words.
Oh, neat.
So much so that he began to put together a book of words for the kids to study.
Wow.
Richard found out one day that Nard was skipping school.
Oh.
And he said, "That's not good.
No, yeah.
You
it's
need
not
to go
good.
back to school. Because if you don't go back to school, you won't be able to read."
Oh.
Well, Nard was very excited to go back to school because he wanted to do what his friend Richard said.
Yeah.
And so as he went back to school, the teacher that day began to pass out these pieces of paper.
Oh.
They were stapled together and they were little books. And the books had words in it.
Yeah.
Words that were in the Isnag language.
Whoa.
Nard began to learn to read. He was so excited. He and Richard had done enough words that Richard could put together stories so that they could read.
That's so cool.
One thing that Nard didn't know was that Richard was also working on something else. He was working on translating the Bible
Oh,
from
yes.
English into the language of the Isnag people.
Oh, wow.
Now, it would take a really long time because the Bible has 66 different books.
Wait. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's a whole bunch of different books wrapped up in one book. Richard decided he would translate the book of Mark. It's one of the Gospels, and it tells the story of Jesus' life.
Yeah.
It talks about how Jesus was born and how he lived a perfect life and all the amazing miracles that he did.
Yeah.
How he healed blind people
That's
and he even raised dead people.
What?
And how he took how much Jesus loved kids and he let the kids come over and he would see them.
Yeah.
And it talked about how he died on the cross.
Oh.
But it also talked about how he rose from the dead again on the third day and how he wants us to live with him in heaven forever.
Yeah.
Well, one afternoon, as Richard and Nard were meeting, Richard handed Nard a book, and it was the Gospel of Mark.
Oh, he
had
finished
it.
Yes.
Nard was so excited, he ran home and he began to read the entirety of the book.
Yeah.
He read from the beginning to the end. About halfway through, he was reading how God had sent his only son, Jesus, and how he died on the cross.
Yeah.
Nard got very upset.
Yeah.
He began to cry and he was angry and he said, "God, why would you let your son die on the cross? Why wouldn't you help him? Why wouldn't you save him?"
Oh.
Nard didn't know what to do.
Yeah.
As he continued to read, he read how Jesus came alive again on the third day and how he went on to tell other people that they should go and tell people about the truth that Jesus loved them.
Yes.
Nard realized in that moment that Jesus had died on the cross for him
That's true.
and for you and for me
Yeah.
and for Miss Jen. because he loved
Too much.
Well, Nard didn't know what to do. He went and he asked Richard, he said, I believe that Jesus is the one true God. I believe that he died on the cross for my sins, and I want him to forgive me.
Yeah.
Richard was so excited. He prayed with Nard, and Nard asked Jesus to come into his heart.
Yes.
From that point on, Nard studied very hard. He wanted to learn as much as he could.
Oh, good.
And a while later, Richard said, now that you've finished your school, because their school only went through about 4th grade.
Oh, my. Okay.
He said, now that you've finished your school here, how would you like to go to the city and learn more?
City.
Nard said, I would love to, but I can't. I can't afford it.
Oh.
While he was talking, his brother Adin came up and he said, Nard, you need to come home. We have work to do, and we don't have any money. Nard looked at Richard and thought, that's the truth. There's no way I could go. Early the next morning, Nard woke up and he heard some people talking. And he heard that it was Mr. Richard and his mama and his papa talking. They were talking because Mr. Richard had figured out a way for Nard to go to school and for it to be covered, the price to be covered.
Oh, wow.
He had come and asked Mama and Papa if it was okay. They were so excited for Nard. They knew that he loved to learn and that he was very smart, and so they wanted him to be able to learn as much as he could.
Oh, wow.
And so that afternoon, they walked towards the amazing machine, the flying plane, that Nard and Mr. Richard would get in and fly 900 miles.
Oh, my goodness.
To the school. Well, as Nard got in the plane, he was scared.
Oh, yeah. I would
He had never flown before. He had never even really seen. So he was scared, so he began to pray. He began to think, Jesus, I know that just like your disciples were scared, I'm scared, so will you please be with me?
Yeah.
And in that moment, Nard began to feel a peace.
Oh.
And he knew that God was with him.
Yes.
Well, Nard and Mr. Richard flew and flew and flew. Nard thought it was the coolest thing in the whole world. He wanted to learn how to fly, but he thought he wasn't smart enough. There's no way he could. When they got to the place where they were going to go and he could go to school, Nard began to learn, and he picked things up very quickly.
Oh, neat.
In fact, he had extra time in the afternoon, so he would go and he would hang out at the place where they kept the airplanes, and he would work with the mechanics on how to fix the engines and the wings and the wheels, and he began to learn a lot of things. But what he really wanted to do was he really, really wanted to fly.
Oh, okay, so...
But he didn't think that he could.
Oh.
One afternoon, one of the mechanics said, well, we need to take the plane up and see if it'll fly well. Do you want to fly? When you want to ride along? Oh, Nard flew every chance he could get. Every time he could get in the air, he would. And so he got in the plane. While they were flying, the mechanic said, you take a hold of the stick in front of you there and see what you... Nard had watched every time they had been in the air.
Yeah.
And he loved to study the inside of an airplane and how to fly it.
Okay.
Pretty soon, Nard was flying the plane by himself.
What?
He did such a great job that they were able to go and get him his pilot's license and for him to take his tests.
Wow.
And Nard became a pilot.
Yes.
Well, during that time, Mr. Richard had been working on more of the Bible.
Oh, okay.
And he had had the opportunity to translate all of the New Testament, everything from the book of Matthew to the closing part of the New Testament, the second half of the Bible, the book of Revelation, all of that into the Isnag language.
Wow.
They needed somebody who would be able to go and be a missionary, as somebody who goes and tells others about Jesus.
Okay.
They needed somebody who was able to go and take that to the Isnag people.
I know. Go ahead.
Well, Nard knew that God had prepared him for just this job.
Oh,
And so that afternoon, he went and he talked to the people who owned the plane, and they said, we actually have an extra plane that isn't being used, and we want you to take it, and we want you to deliver the Bibles all over the mountainside to the Isnag people.
Yes.
Nard couldn't believe it.
Uh-huh.
He was so excited.
Yeah.
He got in the plane. He loaded up all of the boxes of books, and he loaded
Uh-huh.
up some candies and different things.
Ooh.
And he hadn't seen his family in several years.
Oh, man.
And as he got in the plane, he stopped and he prayed and said, God, please use your word that others will come to know you.
Yes, yes.
As he flew the very long flight, 900 miles.
Yeah.
He got to the outdoor grass landing strip, the place that they had cleared for the plane to land. And he landed.
Oh, good.
He was nervous. What if,
Oh.
what if people to read the words? Began to unload the book and the boxes of books. He heard behind him, little brother, is that you? He turned and there was Manang, his sister.
Oh, wow.
And he saw her and she said, is that you, Leonardo? Is that you? Yes, sister. Well, who flew you here? He said, I flew.
Yeah.
I'm a pilot, and I have learned to read, and I have gone to school, and I have something that is amazing. And he opened up one of the boxes, and he took out the pages, and he showed her how it was written in the language that she had learned how to read.
Wow.
She began to read the truth of Jesus, and that he loved her very much. She said, is this true, little brother? And he said, it is very true. She said, well, I believe it. Now, come with me. We must tell our older brother and Mama and Papa. They must know the truth as well.
Yeah.
Nard couldn't believe that God had answered his prayer so quickly.
Yeah.
He went and he began to distribute and pass out the Bibles to everyone in the village.
Oh, wow.
And many people, because they could read the Word of God in their own language, came to know Jesus personally. Here's a little boy who started off scared and afraid. God ended up using him in his own village.
Wow.
So that other people could know the truth of Jesus.
That is so cool.
He did what God had called him to do. And you know that God calls you and I to do the same thing?
What's that?
To where we are, to tell others about Jesus.
Yeah.
That we don't have to go to the Philippines. We don't have to go like way far away to Africa or to China. We can tell people about Jesus right where we are.
That's so cool.
We can tell our friends at school. We can tell our friends at work.
Yeah.
We could share things on Facebook that tell other people about Jesus.
Yeah.
We could invite them to church.
Yeah.
Or just talk to them
Yeah.
and tell them that Jesus loves them. That we can be a missionary.
That's so cool.
And you know what?
What?
God might be calling people who are listening to maybe be missionaries in foreign countries.
What? Like to go somewhere else?
To go somewhere else. You know, I have friends that they're missionary pilots.
Oh,
and
yeah.
they fly into different countries and land, and they take the Bible and medical supplies to people all over the world. We have friends that do Bible translation in the Philippines.
Yeah, because there's different groups of people that know different languages.
Right.
And this group that they work with, I know that they said people will walk for over an hour. They will walk for an hour to get a Bible in their language.
Absolutely. And they love it. And not only are they doing it now with the written language, but they're using really cool recorders so that people who don't know how to read can hear the Bible in their own language.
That is so cool.
Yeah, isn't that awesome? Isn't that awesome? So God uses, if you're willing to say yes and follow what God wants us to do, he will use you wherever he thinks is best. And it will always be what's best.
That's so cool.
Can I make a confession?
Okay.
I'm not a very good farmer.
Yeah. Pouring beans doesn't make you a farmer.
No.
But that's okay.
That's okay. God uses me in a different way. And God uses some farmers that are friends of ours to grow things so that they can help feed other people and take care of other people.
Everybody has a specific job.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And God uses all of those so that other people can know about him.
That's so cool.
Yeah, it's all awesome. So I hope you've enjoyed our time at the farm. Enjoyed it. We are the next few weeks, especially. And then maybe we've got some new stuff, some exciting stuff that's
Yep.
going to happen, some little different stuff. But, you know, maybe today you'll have a chance to tell someone, just even text them
Yeah.
and just say, Jesus loves you, and I love you, and I want you to know that. And it'll make a huge difference in
I
their
think